Well, are you ready to go back to the Titanic? Next week, you can experience the most luxurious ship to ever set sail. Exhibition Hub brings the Titanic story to life in New Orleans with the Titanic, an immersive voyage through the eyes of the passengers. John Zaller, executive producer of the exhibition, is here to share what we can discover when we step into this exhibition starting next week. John, thanks so much for being with us. We appreciate you.
Thank you, Kelsey. Glad to be here.
So the question I asked you just before we got started was, and I know it's multi-layered, but what is the world's fascination with the story of the Titanic?
The Titanic story is a story that's never ending. Yeah. There were over 2,200 people on board the ship. You had the greatest ship to ever set sail. You had its maiden voyage, an unsinkable ship that strikes an iceberg. It's like the Greek tragedy of our modern time that we can always learn lessons from, and we can always experience new stories through.
And you said you just were discovering some New Orleans connections to the ship recently.
There are several really great New Orleans connections. One is Dorothy Gibson, who was a silent film actress who was on board the ship. She was having an affair with a New Orleans native, Jules Brulatour, who actually called her back to the United States early, which put her on that ship, and then she ended up making the first movie about Titanic just a few weeks after its sinking.
After she survived.
After she survived.
Oh, yeah. That's incredible. And again, that's just one of the thousands of stories.
Tens of thousands of stories.
that people have because of this ship. So this experience sounds incredible, but for people who have no idea how this will work, talk about the development and what people can expect when they walk in. And you walked in, you handed me something.
That's right. So everybody who comes to the exhibit gets a boarding pass.
Okay.
With a passenger's name on it.
And I have Margaret Brown.
You're Molly Brown, the famous unsinkable Molly Brown.
Yeah.
And so we all get a boarding pass. We go through the exhibit. We're in first class, second class, third class with the crew. We start to connect to that passenger. And at the end, you see whether your passenger survived or was lost in the sinking of the ship. And that's a really powerful moment for people where you all of a sudden you're back in time. You're connected to that story like never before. You made it.
I made it.
Famous, became famous, celebrated by Broadway plays and advertisers all over the world for your incredible spirit the night of the sinking.
Oh, and you mentioned, of course, there's always been a fascination with the stories of the Titanic, and you said for 25 years you've been researching and putting these types of exhibits together for people to experience. Talk about the development of this specific exhibit that people will take part in.
So the Titanic experience has never been to New Orleans before. We wanted to bring it to New Orleans in a whole new way. We're in the same space where Van Gogh the Immersive Experience was and Monet the Immersive Experience was. We're using this incredible projection technology and a virtual reality component to take you back into the Titanic story like never before. So in a 35-minute immersive show, you see the story of Titanic from its very conception to its final moments. An incredible story. But then using virtual reality, you can actually dive to the wreck.
Wow.
And see the Titanic better than if you actually physically dove to the wreck. So it's really a powerful use of technology to tell the story in a whole new way.
John, how long will you guys be there, and where can people buy tickets?
We'll be here at least through the spring into the summer. You can get tickets at expo-titanic.com, or you could walk up 619 Carondelet Street right in the heart of the Central Business District.
Right across from what was the Ace Hotel.
Correct.
All right, John, this is incredible. You keep adding to a list of things I need to check out in New Orleans. This is for sure one I want to check out.
You're welcome anytime.
As well, I'm already Molly Brown, so I know how I survived the whole thing. But we appreciate your time this morning, and this is so cool. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Kelsey.
All right, time is